Alright everyone, it's Johnny Red, and I am here to have a unboxing video for this new Gunpla I picked up. I've been talking about doing this for a little while now. Starting up doing some Gunpla reviews, tutorials, explaining what Gunpla is, what goes into creating Gunpla, that kind of thing, and maybe even trying to do some live builds or recordings, at least, of me building, and even maybe trying to do some kit bashes or customs. But I just picked this new one up yesterday. This is Gundam Providence from Mobile Suit Gundam Seed. This is Raul Cruce's Gundam from the end of the series, his personal Gundam, and this is actually the first villain Gundam I have purchased. I'll go in a little more detail in another episode, video, whatever you want to call it, at some other point in time about different terms within Gundam and Gunpla building and modeling and whatnot. Right now, I'm not gonna edit this at all. I'm just gonna try to breeze through this and show you what all is inside this box. This is the premium version, which is part of why I wanted to do an unboxing video with this. There's several special things about this. For one thing, the box art on this is actually different from the box art of the regular Providence Gundam box. I don't believe there's any pictures of that on here anywhere. I'll have to... I probably won't put a picture of it anywhere. If I do, I'll insert it here. If you didn't see a picture, then I didn't bother putting it in. As you can see, very nice art on the side. I would actually really like to have a poster of this, despite the fact that I'm not a huge fan of Gundam Seed or even necessarily this mobile suit. I just thought it looked cool and I wanted to build it. But this is some really sweet artwork on here. As you can see, it says premium box art. The box art on the other on the non-premium version is also really cool. It's a more standard pose of this, but it's a very intimidating look. This one actually gives it more of a heroic look than what it should have, considering that it's a villain's Gundam. On the side here, it shows a little bit of what's inside the kit. You get a couple of pictures of what it looks like after completion. Over here, you have a picture of different weapons. This right here shows the pilot figure. You get a little 1/100th Raul Cruce figure in this, along with all the other parts that you can have standing off to the side or with it. Just a reiteration of that. More pictures of the completed kit on the side. As you can see, it says down here, premium box art. More on that. And let me point out something very important. If you ever do purchase any of these, always make sure that it has this little label on here. This is a bluefin warranty label. Basically, just like Lego replaces any lost, broken, missing parts, Bandai will replace any parts that are missing or lost or broken from one of their kits. However, one of the stipulations is you need to make sure this is on here. This means that it was legally brought to the U.S. and distributed here. If it does not have one of those, you are straight out of luck. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and we'll take a look at what's inside. And as you can see here, it has some different things on the side. These are different quotes from Raul Cruce from Gundam Seed. That one says, "You're too late, Mu," talking about Mu Laflaga, who is one of the secondary hero characters. I am the result of all of this. That's how I know. I know that humanity will be wiped out, eaten away by the darkness they brought upon themselves. And each side has a different quote on it. "Who do you suppose has continued to lead things to this conclusion? You're also one of their results. Anything that man can do, I can do just as well. Raul Cruce, Providence, taking off. And I'm the only one in this universe who has that right. I have the right to pass judgment on all of humanity." To be honest, I can't really put a seen to those different quotes as I'm not super familiar with Gundam Seed. It's kind of one of the series that it's not super revered or anything. It's kind of a take it or leave it. You either like it or you don't. And I'm kind of on the fence about it myself, whether or not I like it. It's got some cool stuff in it. It's got some mess stuff in it. I don't really like most of the main characters. I do like that one character, Mulaflaga. He's actually cool. Kind of the Han Solo. Well, more of the Poe of the series, you could say. He's just a military pilot fighting for what he knows is right. Blah blah blah. He's a cool character, but the main character himself is kind of annoying at times. But one thing I do like about Gundam Seed, I absolutely love 90% of all the mobile suit designs in it, if not more. Strike Gundam, Freedom Gundam, Providence Gundam, Duel, Blitz, Aegis, Justice, Sword Impulse, the frames, all of them are really cool. Anyway, back to the unboxing. This is the first runners we're pulling out. As you can see, it has this really cool beam effect part here. Here's a better look at that. Really cool beam effect part. We got some water slides, some dry transfers. That's what this white sheet is, and I'll explain about those in another video. I've never actually used them before, partially because I'm afraid to. And these are foil seals, and these are my personal favorite for the most part. Sometimes Bandai uses them too much, and Master Grades, they use them just the right amount for providing either camera lenses or the eyes for the Gundams themselves, and used properly, they look fantastic. And then other times you've got, like on the high grade Zeta Gundam, where they use way too many of them when they could have just used parts to give you some of the colors. Most of the sprues or runners do not have this many colors on them. This is typically whatever runner has the most colors on it is runner A. And yep, that's correct. As you can see, runner A there. And most of them will just be other numbers or letters. I don't think there's any polycaps in this. This is another couple of runners in the bag. Another important thing about the parts, when you open one up, you actually, before you open up any of these plastic bags, you want to go through and check every runner on there and make sure that you have all the parts on there. Sometimes a part can get loose or break off or something along those lines. You just want to make sure, because that's another thing. Bandai will want a picture of the missing piece from the runner within the plastic bag. And I learned the hard way with my Master Grade Gundam Thunderbolt that unless you have that, they will not replace it. Okay, we have another bag. This has some of the inner frame from the legs. This is part of the calf here. Thigh or knee, either. That's definitely part of the knee right here. And this has some of the outer armor for the legs, and this right here is actually part of the shield. The more you build Gunpla, the more you'll be able to start telling what belongs to what and what something might be used in. This has parts of the beam rifle, and this is very obviously the large backpack / Dragoon system that goes on the back. This has effect parts in it for the Dragoons, just some small ones, and this is part of why this is the premium edition. This has an action base included with it. And now the regular version does have a display base included with it, but it is not an action base. An action base lets you pose it in different ways and gets you a better pose. I'll show you at some other point in time what a regular base that comes with the Gunpla is, as opposed to a action base. These are some of the Dragoons. Same runners. More Dragoon parts and probably arm parts as well, it looks like. Then here is the actual base for that action base I told you about, and this is a Zaft logo. Don't ask me what ZAF stands for because I do not remember offhand. Something Zodiac Alliance, something another, I don't remember. That's part of, it's one of the main draws to the premium. And this is another one of the big draws. This is a massive water slide decal sheet. Not for Providence, but actually for the other 6 major master grade Gundams from Gundam Seed. Over here, we have the Freedom Gundam decals, which I might actually make use of since I have the Freedom Gundam Master Grade. Right here we have Blitz. Here we have Strike, or Ale Strike, whichever you want to refer to it as. Dual Gundam, massive sheet for that, and that's probably because Dual Gundam actually has armor that you can remove and add, and includes decals for that. Aegis Gundam, quite a few for that one as well. And then over here we have Buster, which actually, despite its initially plain look, is actually a pretty cool one. I don't own it myself, but I've heard very good things about the Master Grade. This is a little ad for the P Bandai exclusive extra Dragoon effect parts, which also include water slides for the Master Grade. It includes these other Dragoon bases, stands, effects, whatever. It includes these little blue flames, which are really cool, and these arms that let them extend out and look like they're flying, and you can pose them. Maybe someday I'll get around to getting that, but I don't feel like spending between 40 and 60 bucks just for some effects that I may or may not use anyway. And last but not least, we have the manual. And most Master Grade manuals are pretty much the same. You have over here an overview of the runners, and if you look close, here's a runner that has it. This actually shows you the runner, and then what is not used. See these X's here? That shows what is not used in the construction of the kit. Goes through the body, head over here, arms next, shoulders, waist. This one actually does it slightly different. A lot of the times they have you assemble the legs before the waist. It's in the legs. This has a little bit of information about Gundam Seed and the mobile suit, and I believe the pilot. Some painting information about the weapons. Oh, and there's a little blurb there about Mulaflaga and Ray LaCruce. And about the mobile suit itself and the Dragoon system. Most manuals have a little blurb like that in the center somewhere. More construction, funnels, or not funnels, that's what they're called in the Universal Century timeline. The Dragoons, backpack. Let's see. More construction for the backpack, attaching it. The weapons, which is the beam rifle and the shield. Attaching that big beam effect part, which I'm really excited about. Instructions for the base. And this looks like it has a little bit of posing tips or something. The rear gives you instructions for using the effect parts included. This is a guide for decals and water slides and dry decal transfers and whatnot. And you just have the back, which has a nice, not super cool pose, but just a average pose for the Providence. And that's it, everyone. I probably won't be doing unboxings for everything, but whenever I get my next Verka, or for sure whenever I get my first perfect grade, I'll probably do one. I'll probably give you a heads up on an average high grade and an average real grade, just to let you know what comes inside, what comes inside the average one of each of those. So, until the next video, which will probably be an actual review of Providence here. That is it. J Red out.